Good morning, USA, and welcome to another episode of the Bernie or Bust Show. I was thinking, what does Pewdiepie have that the Bernie or Bust Show doesn't have? 100 million subscribers. So I was thinking, perhaps we should talk to Pewdiepie and other really prominent YouTubers and explain a few things to them. What are they saving the world from? Ennui. Boredom. I don't know what to do today. But what is the Bernie or Bust television show saving people from? Believe it or not, it may be Hillary Clinton. Is that scary enough for you? This is why we need 100 million subscribers. Notice the reaction of Crystal here. This is when one of their panelists said something they didn't expect. And I'll back up here a little so you can figure out what it is that this panelist said that they didn't expect.
And I want to be always clear that today Joe Biden would be the Democratic nominee if current trends hold. Yeah. But
that's scary enough right there. She said Joe Biden would be the Democratic Party nominee if current trends hold. But wait, it gets worse.
This poll shows that strategy of basically taking this vote for granted may be starting to slip.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Hillary Clinton did in 2016, and we saw that would happen to her.
They either didn't vote or they
states.
voted for Trump in higher margins than Romney.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's insulting. Number one, the black vote is not a monolith. And so obviously just saying, oh, well, I'm with Barack, that's going to be good enough to win all the black voters. And that's not necessary. That is not the case, I think, going into the 2020. What's also interesting here is that Joe Biden, if he does not do well here, this is a huge argument to make for Hillary Clinton to come in and say, you know what? I am going.
No,
but I've talked to my Democratic strategist friends who have said, you know what? She has a turnkey, flip on the light, kind of national campaign ready to roll. If Joe Biden
did not think you were going to Hillary.
I love it.
but this opens the door because she can now make an argument. If you can't even win South Carolina, who can you win? Right. And by the way, I won how many millions of votes? Please give me another.
But I think this is why Bloomberg's in the race.
Yep.
Okay, so a couple of things there should scare you. They dismissed it. Hillary, Crystal and Sagar dismissed what she said, but there are other people. This is what do we got here? The Washington Times. Hillary Clinton emerges as top choice of Democratic voters in Harvard-Harris presidential poll. When was this? December 9th, 2019. She's not running for president yet, but Hillary Clinton was the top choice for Democratic voters in the Harvard-Harris national poll released last week. Mrs. Clinton drew 21%, followed by former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. with 20%. Whoa. So Crystal just said Joe would be the nominee if the process were to happen right now. So would Hillary, perhaps. Placing third in the hypothetical race was Vermont Senator Bernard Sanders at 12%. Elizabeth Warren was 9%. So this show that I was just showing you came from the topic of South Carolina. They're saying that Joe significantly dropped and Bernie made, I think, a 7-point gain, putting him within striking distance of Joe, putting him in second place. This is significant because Joe has pretty much given up on Iowa and New Hampshire, and he's just counting on support from South Carolina to give him a solid start in the nominating process. And if Bernie cracks that support, and it looks like he is, then what would Hillary do? That's a question I think we should ask, because they are deathly afraid. All of the oligarchs are deathly afraid of a Bernie Sanders presidency. And you've already seen some drastic measures when it looks as though the wheels are coming off of Elizabeth Warren's bus and off of Pete Buttigieg's bus. This is not as far-fetched as you might think. This is what Lee Camp has to say about it.
Moment of clarity. This episode is about how France is right now showing us how it's done. Okay? They've shut down the country.
Look at these pictures. You haven't seen these on national news, but this is happening in France and many, many other places, as reported on the Bernie or Bust show. And what the monarchs are afraid of, the oligarchs are afraid of in this country and all around the world is people rising up and waving flags and setting things on fire. And so if you think that they're just going to sit by and watch, you've got another thing coming. And the other thing you have coming perhaps is Hillary Clinton. Let's jump ahead here.
And if the person is on the other team, then fuck them. And instead, we should be looking at the issues, and we should be joining together and working against.
He was talking about the vote blue no matter who people.
The most powerful factions, the oligarchs of this country, the ruling elite. This speaks to what's going on right now in the Democratic race for president, right? You have the oligarchs, the ruling elite, the incredibly wealthy, trying desperately to stop Bernie Sanders or, Tulsi Gabbard too, but she's not as much of a threat to them right now. So trying to stop Bernie Sanders from getting this nomination. And they are uniting, the powerful are uniting to try and make sure that doesn't happen. Hillary Clinton was on Howard Stern recently calling, Bernie Sanders a Russian asset or some shit like that, which those of us who knew the Russiagate thing was utter horseshit, we knew this would happen next, right? This is how McCarthyism works. This is how the Cold War era maligning of anybody, even slightly left-wing, works. They create this great Russian menace, and then they say, oh, anybody who doesn't stand for the corporate exploitation of the working class, they are fucking Russians. And, in other times they'll say it's someone else. Either the great terrorist threat or whatever. There are varying ways of doing this, but the one that's really stood the test of time, at least since World War II, is the great Russian threat, right? It's gonna get you. And so Hillary Clinton goes on Howard Stern and says this utter horse shit. She again acts like Bernie Sanders stopped her from getting the presidency, from defeating Donald Trump. She said, Bernie Sanders hurt me.
Do we hate Bernie Sanders?
No, I don't hate anybody.
Bernie could have endorsed you quicker.
He could have. He hurt me. There's no doubt about it. He hurt me. And I hope he doesn't do it again to whoever gets the nomination.
Right.
Once is enough.
How did Bernie Sanders hurt you, Hillary Clinton? Was it by revealing your actual stances? The things you actually stand for? That you are actually corrupt? That you are actually a Wall Street stooge? Like, that's what hurt you, was the reality. Your real emails that came out. Your reality is what hurt you and made you unelectable. End of story. That is it.
That is it. That's it. And so if she comes sliming back into the picture, it's because she represents the oligarchs, and they're terrified. If Joe Biden tanks, and if Pete Buttigieg tanks, and if Elizabeth Warren tanks, then it's all over. They don't know what to do after that. And if Bernie wins, he's going to get a lot of people engaged in the political process and in the protest process and in the labor strike process. He's going to get a lot of things started that they really, really don't want. And that's why they're terrified. And so keep tuned. And how are we going to get this word out? Lee Camp is, what is he? 9,562 views, 216,000 subscribers. That's not 1 million. It's not 10 million. We need to get the word out. Now, Pewdiepie, he saves us from boredom, but we need to be saved from Hillary Clinton. I bet a lot of Pewdiepie subscribers, if they knew the menace that is lurking, they would watch the Bernie or Buzz show, and they would get the word out that only Bernie can defeat Hillary or anyone like her. And it's looking grim right now, and we have a couple of months. But the problem is that people have to wake up before the primaries start. People have to wake up well before November. They even have to wake up well before their primaries, because in some states, like New York, you have to register so damn early to get to be able to vote that it just locks out a lot of people who are Johnny-come-latelys or Jill-come-latelys to the game. So we have to wake them up. Who better to wake them up than Pewdiepie and a lot of the other popular YouTubers? So this is what we should do if we're on these other networks. We should start saying, subscribe to the Bernie or Bust show, Bernie or Bust television. Go there. Go in your search bar. Type in Bernie or Bust Television. Subscribe. If we would do that, then we might solve the world's problems. This is a good example of what YouTubers should be doing, but insert Bernie or Bust Television in the place of PewDiePie here.
Oh, that is not today. Not today, not here, not now, in no way, shape, or form. Are we going to let the darkness of this world overtake the one true source of light that we have left in this life? Yes, it's true. I'm talking about PewDiePie. And we must all do our part in this fight, whether we feel like we're a part of it or not. Because the truth is, this affects all of us. Every single one of us. Every single one of us needs to fight harder than we've ever fought before when the darkness seems overwhelmingly grim.
Doesn't that sound like what the world is facing? 8 or 9 years from now, we are going to be past the tipping point. The whole thing. Look at his eyes. Look at his deep expression on his face. And listen to his deep, beautiful voice. We need that voice on our team. We need him to tell all of these millions of people, subscribe to Bernie or Bust Television.
That's when we need to dig deep.
That's
when we must truly, truly dig harder than you've ever dug before. Down in the description there is a link that goes directly to subscribe to PewDiePie, and I recommend that you go there immediately right now. Don't wait, don't hesitate, don't do anything that you wouldn't ordinarily do on a good Sunday like today. Except go down in that description and click that subscription link to PewDiePie. And make sure you do it fast, and make sure you do it now, because there is nothing in this world more important than what we are doing here today. And I am going to use...
I think he believes it. I went there, see? Unboxing 100 million.
Me, hello! I have a question. Have you ever bought something online to then realize you could have gotten it for less? That is literally worse than accidentally killing your dog in Minecraft. Okay, not really, but...
Or failing to provide health insurance to people who really need it and then having them die when they can't afford their insulin. What else is terrible, PewDiePie? Tell us. Come on.
Luckily, I discovered Honey. Honey is a free browser extension that lets you save money online. The way Honey works is that it scans the internet for coupon codes whenever you check out, and just like unicorn wizard magic, it pulls it out and saves you money. Amazing.
That is amazing. Actually use Honey. But you know what? Existential crisis. It isn't. All right, so let's keep talking until you subscribe to the Bernie or Bust television show, and then go on all of these famous YouTubers and then tell them. I have a friend, and he told me some other YouTubers, so I'll link to the names. I'll link to all of their channels below, and it's your duty to go on their comment section and tell them to keep talking until we have 100 million subscribers to the Bernie or Bust show. And if your subscribers are in other parts of the world, it's even more important because the rest of the world is so severely affected by imperialism, U.S. imperialism, that you should probably support Bernie Sanders too, no matter where in the world you live. So it doesn't matter. Anywhere in the world, we can use your help. This is how you should do it.
Use my one ability, my one talent, my one God-given ability to speak endlessly, to make sure that you understand the importance of what is happening right here, right now, today. In the description is a link, and a link was invented long ago when the internet was just in its infancy. Oh yes, but with your mouse device you can move it down there into the description and you can click on that link. And yes, lo and behold, you will go and see that you are now subscribed to PewDiePie, and you will have done your part.
I have.
But the fight doesn't end there. No. Because the message needs to be spread as far and wide as possible.
Yes.
You need to know.
Yes.
You need to know now.
Now.
That you can do your part more than just clicking that subscription button. If you are already subscribed, then you need to know now.
Now.
That you can tell anybody, everybody, your neighbor, your friends, your family members, even your enemies.
Yes.
Because even your enemy.
Especially your enemies. If they're vote blue, no matter who enemies, they need this message Now.
Need to do something in this fight.
In this
I remember a long time ago when I was a child, a man once spoke to me before I even really understood what he was talking about, but he said to me, "Son!
Son!
Someday
Someday.
you will be called upon. You will be called upon and you will know with the certainty of a fire of 1,000 suns. You will know
Yes.
that you must do your part." And I said, "Nay!
Nay!
I am but a small boy and I don't know what my part is, but no! Today I know.
I know.
And now you know.
And you know.
In the description there is a link that will take you to PewDiePie's channel, where you can subscribe to PewDiePie. Do your part. This is...
Do your part! I can't take it anymore. If you similarly can't take it anymore, please subscribe. Please spread the word. Let us conquer the world today. And keep on burning!
Get on board the Bernier bus train. Come get on board the Bernier bus train. Once you hear that clickety-clack, there ain't no time for turning back.